kind of delve into it, Doc.
Okay. All right. So we have a couple people. Okay. So my name is Dr. Cedrina Calder. My brand is FitDoc. So it's like my nickname, moniker, whatever you want to call it. But I'm a preventive medicine doctor, not a holistic medicine doctor. It's different from that. But as a preventive medicine doctor, we focus on the health of the community, not just the individual. And I currently provide primary care for low income people here in Tennessee. Um, what else? I'm also a professional bodybuilder. I'm a member of the IFBB.
Yes.
Um, and my interests are really in like health education. I love educating people, especially Black women, just on how to improve their health and how to become their own advocates for their health. I love, another interest of mine is like health disparities. So, that's something that, I want to be able to contribute to fixing as much as I can as an individual. And then health equity also kind of goes along with that. Um, and then I do some things in media. I plan to, start doing more. I like media because it's also gives me opportunity to educate multiple people at a time. So I love
Yeah.
media for that reason. But yeah, so it's pretty much who I am. I'm from Jersey originally. Been in Tennessee for a few years, but I moved here from DC. I was there for a while. Was also there for undergrad. So yeah, half Jamaican. So these are just random facts about me. So Caribbean.
Great, great. Great. So, I started talking before you jumped on how a lot of, patients, family, and friends, they come to me, as a dental provider, a person that they know who's in, the field of medicine, and they have all these questions about, the COVID-19 vaccine. Is it, are they trying to alter my DNA? Are they trying to track me? And all these different kind of things. And so I figured I'd, partner with somebody who is a little bit more knowledgeable than I in the field, because I want, my patients, my family, my friends to make informed decisions about, what they want to do with their body, what they want to do with their health and wellness. Like there's lots of, random garbage out there that, people will look at memes and different things like that to make decisions about their health care. And that's not what they should do. You want to make sure that you're making informed decisions, whether you're for the vaccine or against the vaccine. That's a personal choice, but make sure that you are an informed person when you make the decision. And so I know, when people talk about the, altering my DNA and tracking, the vaccine is actually not a DNA vaccine. It's mRNA vaccine. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so you make a good point. Before I get into that, I just want to say, when anytime I talk to anybody about health, talk to my patients about things, and I kind of explain and educate them, I'm still giving them a chance to make their own decisions, which is what you mentioned. So everyone has the opportunity to make their own decisions. Our job as doctors and other healthcare professionals that you may come across is to try to give you the right information so that you can make an educated decision on your own. So I'm not here to tell you to go ahead and you better get vaccinated, et cetera, et cetera. I'm going to
Right.
give you the information of why the vaccine is helpful and and then you can take it from there and decide whether or not you want to do it or not. So as far as so yeah, I know a lot of people are talking about, oh, the vaccine can alter my DNA. That is a myth that's been going around. It does not. And the reason is because, as you said, it's an mRNA vaccine, and the mRNA does not actually enter the nucleus of the cell. So for those who don't know, the nucleus, so a cell is made up of a bunch of different parts. The nucleus is like that main
The
center where
brain.
all your genetic material, all your DNA and all that stuff is kept. The mRNA is not going in there. So it cannot alter the DNA. It would have to enter that nucleus. So it's not even going over there. So, and once the cell uses it to do what it needs to do, which is make the protein, which is that spike protein, which is on the outside of the virus, it gets rid of it. So it actually degrades it. gets rid of it. So it doesn't stay there. So yeah, that's what mRNA is. It's pretty much like a code for that particular protein, which is like a spike on the outside of the virus. So it's just coding for it. And what happens is we have different things in our cells called ribosomes. It attaches to it and it reads the code and basically spits out that particular protein.
And why is it that we want our body to read that particular spike protein?
Because so that spike on the outside of the virus is that's what initiates a lot of the reactions that our body puts out to try to attack that foreign object. So anytime your body senses or sees that there's something that's there in you that's not normally there, it reads the outside. It's like, hold on, this doesn't look like anything that we normally see. So then it'll mount a response to it. And initially, you have two different types of responses. Initially, it's like a quick response where they're just like, destroying everything around, letting out all types of different chemicals that cause all these reactions. You hear about all this stuff that happens with COVID, the symptoms and all that. That's actually not the virus causing that. That's your body causing that, because your body's like, what in the world is this? We getting rid of it.
Yeah,
so it's throwing everything it has at it to try to get rid of it. And then as it starts to learn it more, then it starts to create antibodies and other things to try to be very specific with trying to attack it. First, it's just like, we just doing whatever. We shooting, we stabbing, like we just trying to get rid of it. And then once it kind of learns it, then it's like, okay, this is our strategy. Now we got a specific strategy on how to get rid of it. So that's
so is that the reason why there's 2 doses to the vaccine? So you can build enough antibodies?
So the first dose, it's just that the efficacy, or how effective it is lower. It's the highest after you get it again. So it needs to see it again, and then you're like all good to go. So I think with Pfizer, after the first dose, they say it's about 50% efficacy. And then the second dose, it goes up to 95%. So they want to ensure that they can get the highest response. So it's like your body just needs to see it 2 times. And then,
All right. There's a question I think somebody has. Can you see the questions that pop up?
Yeah. Let me make sure. So I see, should you get the vaccine after having COVID-19? Yes. When can you get it? So yes, you can get you said, should you? As I said, I'm not gonna give medical advice or tell you what to do. Let me
put a disclaimer first.
Yeah.
We are not your medical provider. She is not your doctor. I am not your dentist. We are just conversing and talking about information just so people can be informed. But we are not giving medical advice. We are not your providers. Should have gave that disclaimer first. So don't be trying to sue us if you decide to not buy the vaccine and then you get COVID. None of that, guys, because we're not giving out medical advice, particularly for you. We are just informing so that you can make decisions for yourself. Okay, go ahead, Doc.
With that, you said, should you get after having, I will change your question to, can you get it? Yes, you can get the vaccine if you've had it. They recommend it. It's also recommended for people who've had COVID-19. So just because you've had COVID-19 does not mean that you should not get the vaccine. Also, you ask, when can you get it? So if you're asking how soon after you've had COVID, it really depends on whether or not you're sick. So you want to wait until you're not sick anymore. And that's really what any vaccine, if you're actively sick, then you want to kind of wait until you feel better. You should actually wait until after your isolation period is done, right? So if you've been released from isolation, that means that you're pretty good to go. You're considered not to be infective anymore, and your sickness is pretty much resolved. So in that case, then you could go ahead and get it after that.
I think a good caveat question to that is whether vaccines are curative or preventative. So a lot of people think, I'm going to get the vaccine and it's going to cure me from SARS, COVID, whatever all the long words are. It's going to cure me from COVID. So can you explain the difference between preventative, curative, and how the vaccine, which one that category that falls into?
Yeah, so vaccines are preventive. So that's my field right there, preventive medicine. So
Right.
I'm all for vaccinations. It is preventive, and preventative, and what I will say about it, some people assume that if they get the vaccine, that means they will not ever get COVID, and they will not be able to transmit it to anyone. So once they get it, they could just be out wherever. They be out in the streets in Atlanta, chilling, partying.
Not
That's not what that
Atlanta.
means. So you can still, so they have not proven that just because you're vaccinated, you cannot transmit. What they have shown with that 94 to 95%, depending on which vaccine you get, is that it's that effective in preventing you from being sick, meaning you won't have symptoms. That doesn't necessarily mean that you won't get the actual virus and it'll be in your body and you can actually infect someone else. They haven't proven that yet. They're still trying to study to see if that is the case. What they do know is that there's a high chance that you will never be symptomatic if you were to be exposed to the virus. So with that said, if you do get the vaccine, you're still supposed to practice the same types of precautions if you did not receive the vaccine. And that's not necessarily for yourself, because like I said, there's a higher chance that you will probably not get any symptoms if you were to get infected, but you could potentially pass a virus on to someone else who may not have had the vaccine.
That's key point. I think the key point is that it's not all about just for yourself. It's about the community. And so, yes, you may, get COVID and be able to fight it or have no symptoms and do just fine. But we have to think in a community type of way. It's not just about me, and I. It's a community type of thing. Like, how would you feel if your grandmother got sick? Those kind of things. You have to be, not be so selfish in nature. That's just my own personal opinion. I said it.
That's I 100% agree with that. I say the same thing. Everyone has to stop thinking about themselves all the time. I mean, during the whole pandemic, everybody was focused on themselves. I'm young, I'm this, I'm that, I'll be good, X, Y, Z. But you're not the only one. You live in a house with a grandma. Like, people are not remembering that. Like, me, I live alone. But that doesn't mean I need to still be everywhere and doing everything. But I live alone. There are people who live with multiple people in their house. And it's been proven that when you get infected, if you live with people, there's a very high chance that they're going to get infected too. It's almost 100% chance. Like, I just see it time and time again. A lot of the infections that have happened, where I live, because I'm in public health, so I see all that data, have talked to people, and just So it usually one person gets infected, and then everybody in the house gets infected. So stop being selfish, folks. It's not all about you. We gotta work together as a group.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. So another question that I had, I tried to do as much research on it as I could. And even, being a doctor and, being a scientist, I still have, this, pressing question, or I don't know, I'll delve into it. So, I know the Academy of Obstetrics and Gynecology has recommended the vaccine to be safe for pregnant mothers. But somehow, in my mind, and it may be wrong how my mind is working, but I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, the flu vaccine, mothers can get the flu vaccine, but there's been, so much research and so much time that has spanned for us to see what type of results that could potentially happen, if a pregnant mother gets the flu shot. But like with COVID, so say, I'm pregnant and I was in the study. I was doing the trial period for the COVID-19 vaccine, right? I was in the trial. I took it, right? My baby or kid or whatever, it's not even 2. You know what I'm saying? They're not 2. So, we don't really know what the effects of this vaccine can have on your unborn child or your child that was just born. Do you have any, any thoughts or anything on that? Because in my mind, it's like, if I am, still able to bear a child. So I'm thinking about these things, A, as a, potential mother, B, as a healthcare professional, so all those things are weighing in my mind. Like, should I get it? Should I get it? I still can be able to have babies, even though I'm not trying, but, those things kind of go on, in your brain. as a
And
person?
that's definitely a valid concern. I completely understand why people are concerned about that. You want to protect any potential children you will have in the future. You want to protect child that you may have inside of you at the moment. So yeah. So what I will say, so ACOG, that's the organization over obstetrics and gynecology in the United States. They are, what they're saying is that they're not saying that they can't say the vaccine is safe. You know, they can't put that type of wording out because it's still early, right? So what they're
Right.
saying is that they are recommending that pregnant women, even lactating women, are not withheld the vaccine, and that they be given it depending on whatever phase they're in, like whatever tier they fit in, according
Mhm.
to the ACIP's recommendations, their guidelines, which is the immunization folks. So
Okay.
that's what they're saying. And what they are also saying is that there have been no other vaccines that have been shown to be not safe in pregnant women, and
Okay.
that what we know so far from the data and from studies that have been done, they've had some animal studies done. You know, they're working on human studies, but there's no evidence that shows that it would be unsafe for the mom or her baby. So there's no evidence. There's no previous evidence with any of the other vaccinations that we have and that we give pregnant women all on a regular basis. In addition, you have to keep in mind that pregnant women are actually at risk of having severe infection if they were to get COVID-19.
Oh,
So
didn't
that's
know that.
something, yeah, so that's something to consider. So you kind of have to do a risk versus
Versus
benefit
benefits.
ratio, right?
Okay.
So if you're
Yeah.
pregnant, do I want to risk? And you have to think about your own lifestyle. Do I live with other people? Are those people, you know, potentially, can they potentially be infected and bring back to me, get infected and bring back to me? Do I live alone? Okay, maybe you have a low risk. You're not out and about. Okay, but if you're, or maybe you work in the type of job you have, puts you in front of a lot of people that could potentially get you sick. So you have to kind of weigh the risks and the benefits. Do I feel like I'm at significant risk of getting COVID? Am I willing to risk getting COVID and getting severe illness while I'm pregnant? So you kind of have to weigh your risk versus your benefits. What's my benefit of getting it? Okay, of getting the vaccine. Benefit would be that you would have a higher chance of preventing illness if you were to be infected with COVID-19, well, with the virus that causes COVID-19. So that would be a benefit, that you would be, you know, you're pregnant. So you want to just make sure everything, your baby's protected. If you get severely ill, then obviously that's going to compromise your baby as well, in some way. So you have to just weigh your risks versus benefits. What are the other risks of vaccination? You know, the typical symptoms we see with any vaccination. You could consider that to be a risk. Fever, chills, fatigue, headache, those are the types of things. Soreness in the area where you got the shot. Um, uh, Even some swelling potentially, swollen lymph nodes. Those are like common, and that's not just COVID-19. That's any vaccination.
Hmm.
So yeah, you really have to weigh the risks and the benefits, just for everyone, not even just pregnant women.
Right. Let me see. Do I have anything else that people have been asking me? What do you think about just people just trying to boost their immunity, their immune system? Any recommendations? Any type of
So
vitamins,
I'll
water?
say, first I want to say, with that whole boost your immune system, I've used that terminology myself. I've, you know, commented in articles and stuff and kind of gave advice about foods and stuff that are good for that have vitamins, minerals that are good for your immune system. We probably shouldn't use the word boost because not really boosting it. You're just
Okay.
keeping it strong, maintaining it. To maintain
Maintain.
a
Okay.
healthy immune system, certain vitamins and minerals are needed in your diet, right?
Okay.
So, and there's several of them actually. So one of which I'll say first, vitamin D is important for your normal immune system function. And it's actually one of the vitamins and minerals that people typically are deficient in. So I find deficiencies all the time. When I draw blood work on my patients, vitamin D is low, and it usually happens in African Americans because, and I shouldn't say African Americans, Black people, because vitamin D, you get that from the sun. So you change chemicals that you consume into vitamin D, but you need sunlight to do that, right?
Right.
So because we have more melanin in our skin, we don't absorb as much of the sunlight as someone who has less melanin. So a lot of times we have vitamin D deficiencies. I was just deficient on my last blood work. So I had to, get on some vitamin D. So, and there have been some studies that have showed a correlation. What I mean by correlation is meaning it's a relationship between these two. We don't know what the relationship is. We don't know if it actually causes it, but they've seen that a lot of people who've had severe COVID-19 had, I shouldn't say a lot. They saw a relationship between
Relationship.
having low
A
vitamin
trend.
D and severe COVID-19 illness. So we don't know if that means that it puts you at risk, but there's some type of association between the two, I should say. So with that said, you definitely want to make sure you're getting your vitamin D. If you have a doctor that you go to, ask them to check your vitamin D level. Because as I said, if you're Black, there's a good chance your vitamin D could potentially be low, especially right now in the wintertime when people are not spending as much time outside. So check that. The other thing is other vitamins and minerals that are good for actually assist in your immune system function. Vitamin C is another one. And you don't necessarily have to, there's been some studies, I'm not so sure about them in terms of vitamin C and COVID. The reason why I'm hesitant on telling someone to take extra vitamin C outside of what they're consuming in their food. So the key thing is to eat all of these things. Try
I
to
would say
consume it in
most
your
people
food.
don't consume the right
Yeah.
food anyway, and that's
Yeah.
the whole nother
Yeah.
story. Yeah.
Exactly. So some of these vitamins, minerals, I would say supplement with. One would be vitamin D, especially if you're deficient. Some of these other ones like vitamin C, I would say just make sure you're eating it in your food. A lot of people are not deficient in vitamin C. So, and the studies that have been done on vitamin C have not really been that strong to show that vitamin C does anything if you get sick. Some people think that you can take vitamin C after you get sick. There's been some evidence that it may help you to stay well or prevent you from getting ill, in terms of infections and stuff like that. But once you get sick, to take it after that, there's not much evidence that shows it does much of anything. I would say, if you want to supplement with it, speak with your doctor, fine. But I'm not so sure how much that might help, the vitamin C. Then you have vitamin E, and you should just consume that in your diet. You don't need to take vitamin E. You want to be careful about vitamin E, about taking supplemental vitamin E, because if you take too much, you'll have some problems. So vitamin E is found in, for example, nuts and seeds have vitamin E, especially sunflower seeds and sunflower oil have a ton of vitamin E. And then certain oils in general, but sunflower oil particularly has a high amount. And then I think walnuts has a good amount as well, and some other nuts. A lot of the nuts have it, but there's some that have higher amounts than others. So that's
What about
another.
zinc? What about zinc?
Zinc is so zinc is something that you may consider wanting to supplement with. There have been studies even before COVID, just in general. Zinc is important for the immune system function, especially when it comes to viruses. And there has been good evidence that shows that zinc seems to assist with viral infections and other infections. So
I was told vitamin D3, vitamin C, zinc, and yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I would say supplements, my particular ones would be vitamin D, zinc. The other ones, get that in your food. I think, if people wanted to supplement with vitamin C, speak with your doctor. I'm not telling you to do anything, but zinc, yeah. And zinc is actually, compared to vitamin C, where people think you get sick, take vitamin C, you get better. There hasn't been that much strong. Like I said, the evidence is not that strong for that. Zinc has stronger evidence that it actually helps you to get through a cold even, which is normally caused by a virus too. So, yeah. So, and then I don't know if people talk about elderberry. I'm not familiar. people I've talked to, other
Hey, I swear by elderberry. I'm not even gonna lie.
yes, other
I
doctors. I mean, they
elderberry
have
and sea
there's
moss.
some.
I'm a proponent.
Yeah. So I don't know how strong the evidence is for it, but I think there's been some research on it. From my understanding, it's not something you want to take after you get sick because it actually can make it worse. It's something that you would
Mhm.
take to prevent. If you get
Right.
sick, you want to stop taking it. Um, that I don't. So yeah, that's about as much as I know. I don't really know. I haven't read the actual studies done on elderberry. Those
My
are pretty
front
much all the
office is
things
on
I.
here.
Hmm?
My front office is on here because I always try to get her to take
Oh,
elderberry. And I
someone
take
asked a
mine, and they're
question.
like, "No, doc, no." So now she put a little
Oh, there's a
question.
question.
Yeah, I still
Does
want you to
the
take it
name
though.
brands of vitamins make a difference? Do the name brand of vitamins make a difference? Yeah, because everybody doesn't make their vitamins at the same quality. I'll tell you now, if you get in the Walmart brand vitamins, you can forget about it. Those are trash. So go ahead and throw those out. A good brand is darn it, it slipped my mind. In the Walmart brand, the funny thing is the name is very similar to the other one that I'm talking about. So it's like they're trying to trick you. So
Mm.
I'll think of it. It'll come to me. But it's in like they sell it in like they sell it everywhere, I'm sure. But it's a popular one that you'll see in like Walgreens or Target or wherever. It
Uh,
has like a yellow top, I believe, and a yellow label.
Nature's
And
Bounty,
nature, yes,
Nature's
that's
Valley,
it.
Nature, some Nature's, yeah,
Nature something. But be good.
yeah,
Be
Nature's something.
careful because Walmart has like some. It's a similar name, but it's not the same. It's. I think it's. I want to say it's. Is it Nature's Valley? Not Nature's Valley. Nature's Valley is like granola bars.
No,
it's.
I
It's
think it's
Nature's
Nature's
something.
Bounty. I think it's
It is
Nature's
Nature something.
Bounty. Nature something, yeah. Yeah.
It'll come
Okay.
to me if somebody can look that up real quick. It's Nature something. But yeah,
Yeah.
so that's a. If when I tell people about brands, I would say that just because it's a popular brand. Other than
Yeah.
that, you could actually go to a vitamin store, a supplement store, and they'll have other vitamins there as well. We're probably decent quality. I've bought things from Vitamin Shop before. GNC products are pretty good. So yeah, there's definitely a difference there because it's not regulated. Supplements are not regulated.
Hmm.
So some people just have a lot of trash inside the pill other than the actual vitamin. So it's a lot
Right.
of filler and other things in there. So
And your
definitely
body may not
different.
absorb it in that
Yeah.
state. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Oh, Nature Made. That's what it is. Nature
Nature
Made. Thanks,
made. Yes.
Brenda. Nature Made coming through.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Somebody can look up the Walmart brand because
Yes. Don't get the
it's something
Walmart
else.
brand. Nature Made.
Look up the
That's
Walmart
what it
brand
is.
because I'm going to tell
I
you what
said
should not be
Nature's
taken.
Bounty, Nature's Valley, everything but
The
Nature
Walmart
Made.
is like some other. It's like Nature something, but not not
Yes.
the same.
Yes. Hey, Fitness Lane. Hey, how you doing? Yeah.
Hello.
That was gonna eat me up till we figured out what it was called.
Yeah. No, seriously. Because I was like, it is Nature something. I just couldn't think. Yeah.
Yes, Nature Made. Yes. So I just want to speak really quick on from a dental standpoint, since I am a dentist. When we talked about, you were talking about the correlation thing. So a lot of people, I was reading a lot of different research, and elderberry, we love our hippie juice. Yes, I do. I love my hippie juice. I love my elderberry. Now I do the elderberry with the sea moss gel, and now I mix those up.
Okay.
Yes, we do. So, periodontal disease has been linked to show like if people have a high incidence of periodontal disease, they show more symptoms when they do have COVID-19 because of the different interleukins that are produced when you have periodontal disease. I thought that was something that was kind of really cool since
That's interesting.
I'm a dentist and I'm a dental nerd.
That's
So
very interesting.
so that's my proponent to say, don't put off your dental health, even though this COVID season is out here. Dental offices, we're doing everything we can to keep our patients safe and being exposed to bacteria and virus and things. That's nothing new for us. We've always worn masks. Some of us have always worn face shields, and there's different things that we do. We give our patients a peroxide pre-rinse before we start treatment. So you don't want to put off your care, whether it's dental or medical, but you can use different options. I know probably some places offices have telemedicine. So if you have an issue that's not, that you have to go into the medical facility to see the doctor, by all means, utilize other avenues of care. But we still don't want you to put off your care for
That's
things.
a good, yeah, very good message. And I'll pretty much piggyback off of that. Same thing
Yeah.
with all the other preventive services. You need to get your mammograms, ladies. If you're of age, if you're over 40,
Yes.
you need to go to your doctor and ask about your mammogram. Also, colonoscopies for those who are 50 and over, need to get those done. And then pap smears. It's Cervical Cancer Awareness Month. So if you haven't had your pap smear in the timeline, in the time that you were supposed to, then you need to go get that done. So if you're not sure if you're due, you need to contact your provider and ask when your next pap smear or mammogram, whatever, is due, and get those done. Oh, Spring Valley is the
Spring.
Okay. It's not Nature. So I was thinking because of Nature Valley, which is
Yeah.
Nature Made, not Nature Valley. Okay, Spring
Okay.
Valley is Walmart.
Spring
Yes.
Valley.
So don't get that one.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely don't put off any preventive services. Everyone is taking precautions now, very good precautions. We understand the spread of COVID-19 now. So yeah, definitely not a reason to avoid getting those services done. Point of screenings is to prevent things or detect them before they get to a point where they just are really, really bad, and then it causes a lot of problems. So you want to catch things early. That's why we have screenings. So you have to get those done.
Amen. All right. Does anybody have any more questions? Because the Fit Doc was so gracious to come on and give us her time and help us make informed decisions. Anybody else have any questions? I'm still sitting here at the office knowing I need to go home, but I just really wanted to get this message out so people can be informed and make good decisions about their health and wellness and preventative care. Because, I love preventative care. I get excited about preventative care. But to get, so many people, they come in and they're like, oh, I hate the dentist. They have all this kind of stuff wrong. And I always say, dentistry isn't expensive. Neglect is, okay? Don't neglect yourself. The more you put off things, the more expensive it gets. The more that you're not already eating well, exercising, making sure that you hydrate. If you do get, certain types of, viruses and things, you're more prone to suffer from it more. So let's be preventative in nature, guys. Let's do all that we can, do what we can control. We can't control COVID-19, but what we can control, let's do something about it,
Yes.
All right.
Please.
That's it.
Any questions?
Any questions, anybody? Anybody? Facebook, y'all got any questions? I've been neglecting y'all on Facebook, but y'all been coming through with the answers though. Let's see. Any other questions?
Questions? Because I can't.
No, they don't have any questions on Facebook. All right, Doc. Well, thank you so much. For those that have watched, please follow FitDoc Official on Instagram and see all the preventative advice that she's given. I know she's talking about cervical cancer this month because it's Cervical Cancer Awareness. So get your HPV shots for your kids if you haven't already. So they're talking about vaccines. You can follow us on Definition Dental on Instagram or Facebook. If you have any other questions, we'd be more than happy to help the best that we can. And I think that's it. Thanks, Doc.
Thank you.
All righty.
All right, good night.
Good night.